led by Ilani Melendez, Jada Melendez, Talia Coleman, Brody Graves, Kason Graves, all students of Chestnut Elementary. If you guys want to come forward and get us started, or you can sit there looking crazy. Ms. Anders.
Hi, guys.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. It's probably going to be, you can come forward and tell us your name and what grade you're in, and then you probably want to go home. It's going to be boring. You can stand up and tell us. You can go to the microphone. Tell us your name and what grade you're in. All right, 5th grade. Who's next? Oh, no, you don't have to leave. Who's next?
Enough for you.
Go ahead.
Are you related to her? Okay.
I'm Talia Coleman and I'm in 5th grade.
Good.
Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you.
All right, roll is recorded. Mr. Reinhardt, Superintendent's report.
Sure. We have several important and interesting items underneath this heading. The first one, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce to you an individual we're all getting to know, and his name is Neil Wren. Neil, would you please stand up and come to the microphone? And I'll give you a minute to collect your thoughts, but I would like to introduce Neil, who's with us through the AmeriCorps Vista program, and he will be spending all of his time, 5 days a week with us from now until the end of June, I believe. And he is working in an office. We have a space for him downstairs at the present time. It's not a permanent space, but we have him there so he can get to know us. He's been around the buildings, and he's in charge of, his first responsibility, he's in charge of our Red Rovers to the Rescue program, and he's had a chance to get to know Easton schools and who's around the buildings. He's got to know our PTA people. Neil, would you like to share with us a little bit about yourself, what brings you to this position, what's your motivation, and what you hope to get from it?
Yeah, definitely. Hi, everybody. My name's Neil. I'm from Makanji, so about half an hour away. I went to Emmaus, so we still have our logos look pretty same, just different colors. But I graduated from Bucknell in May, and I studied international relations and economics. So a lot of people, when I've talked to them so far, I'm like, what are you doing anywhere near a public school? And for me, that comes from a belief in the power of community and of individuals. And when I look at Easton Area School District, I think it reflects a lot of the things I was learning in my last 2 years of college. We talked a lot about diversity, and I think working through the AmeriCorps program with the United Way, I can learn a lot from the Easton Area School District, and hopefully I can give back as much to the Easton Area School District. Should I talk a little bit about what we've been working on? So like the superintendent said, we kicked off the Red Rovers to the Rescue campaign, and that's in full swing now. If you guys are parents or students, and that's, I'm assuming you all are, of the Easton Area School District, if you have heard about it, please spread the news, please donate items, keep that going until the end of September. As we all know, Hurricane Maria just struck again today in the Caribbean, and it's headed towards Puerto Rico, headed towards the Virgin Islands, and it's supposedly going to cause a lot of damage, and they're just really getting battered down there. And some of the other things I'm working on right now, I'm working on a communications assessment, so I've met with most of the principals already just to talk a little bit about how each of their schools are currently communicating with parents, teachers, and the local community. And what we're doing with that is just looking for ways to improve, maybe adapt the way we do things to better fit the needs of parents, students, and the local community. And then one of the other pieces that we're looking at is a public relations component. Our assistant superintendent, Melissa, just set up a Twitter account the other day, and hopefully we're going to be able to kick that off a little bit. I've been thinking about an Instagram account for the district as well. I've been doing a lot of research into how other school districts use social media to their advantage. It's just in spreading information, spreading news, and building a better school culture and community. That's about it. And I look forward to working in the district.
Thank you.
Thank you, Neil. We're very fortunate to have him. I look forward to a very productive year. Next, I'd like to introduce Mr. Geiger, our high school principal, who's got some further introductions.
All right. It's my pleasure to introduce to you two young men who are in the midst of working towards their Eagle Scout project and completing it. So I'm going to ask those two young men, Donovan Layden and Ryan Lukacek, to please come up here and join me. They have been working for many, many months and coming up with projects, and then obviously starting to organize them and get prepared. And now they're looking at the work end of it, putting their work into it and completing it. Both of their projects will have a great benefit to Easton Area High School, and they did leave you with some paperwork prior to you coming out here, so as they go over, I think you have some stuff in front of you to look at. And I will comment that in Donovan's, you'll see the one where he nicely puts an old sign hanging there. That was my bad attempt at trying to label our hallways for the freshman orientation, so he will be putting up much more visible and better signage for us in his project. So I'm just going to have both of those young men give you a little explanation of what they're working on.
So I'm Ryan Lukacek. That's the one with the post in the front. I'm a senior at Easton High School, and like Mr. Geiger said, I'm working on my Eagle Scout project. So I've chosen to do my project at the high school, which I'm going to be labeling the athletic fields on campus. They're all going to say, well, they're not all going to say this, but they're going to look the same, which is basically a 4x4, 6 feet tall, with a vinyl cladding on it, and then printed letters on it as well, and the Easton logo. So I'm going to put one, or actually sometimes two, depending on the location, at each field on campus, and I'm asking for permission from the board to move forward with it. I've been working with Mr. Geiger, Mr. Prokopczak, Mr. Case, some of the maintenance staff to ensure that this is, going to work out, and it seems to be doing well. I have a little bit of a description on the back, what each sign will say, as well as a budget, and that's about it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Donovan Layden. I'm a senior at Easton Area High School, and I'm a scout from Troop 29. For my project, it's on the next page. I will be working on interior directional signs to put all throughout the high school. There's roughly around 47 of them. I have an example of one with me here. This is what they will look like. And if you want to pass this around. Also, on the next page, I have a sign schedule. This shows the message of them, the location, colors, and much more. And finally, I have the cost estimate, which would be roughly around $1,800. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
All right, thank you. Thank you both, and I appreciate the fact that you've taken a very special opportunity through your Eagle Scout project to think about our schools and the kids that you're going to school with. I can tell you that in both cases, these signs will be extremely important to everyone who goes into the building and around the building. It's not necessarily the easiest place to navigate at times, and I'm sure you understand that by selecting these as the projects. So thank you both very much, and I know I speak on behalf of the board to wish you luck, and hope you can come back and show us the end result of your project.
Thank you. All right. Reports. CIU 20, Ms. Price.
Nothing to report today.
All right. Eastern Area Public Library.
Good evening. I'm Betsy Walker, the Vice President of the Library Board. I have a brief informational update. In addition to a successful summer reading program for both children and adults, the library hosted Ken Bundy and his History of the State Theater, a cyberbullying program which was done at Palmer Branch in conjunction with the Palmer Police, and a Master Gardening series. The poetry troupe of young people appeared at 4 venues, including a performance before City Council where the mayor presented them with certificates of commendation. The Friends of the Library awarded 2 $500 scholarships to Rachel Rich and Jack Quinn, both Easton Area High School graduates. Have a busy fall coming up. The library has already received a 3-star rating as part of the Pennsylvania Forward Initiative and will be doing the programs to achieve Gold Star status. And this is a statewide initiative that places the spotlight on Pennsylvania libraries and the important role that libraries play in the lives of the citizens. It works through 5 key literacies: basic, information, civic and social, health and financial, all meant to improve the quality of life for the people in our community. In the beginning of October, the Easton Area Public Library, along with other local libraries, will move to a new catalog system called Spark. This is a statewide record management program. You may see a few days where you try to get a book and you won't be able to check it online, or that your reading history may be gone, but it will be back up and improved. And this is being done, as I said, in Bethlehem and Allentown also. Upcoming programs in October: the gardening series will finish in September and October. There's a therapy dog program in October and a kids geography program for the younger kids on October 21st. Any questions? There's a therapy program. There's a lot of people involved in this kind of program. October 5th, 7 o'clock at the Catherine Draper Center. Okay, and check the website, which is eastonpl.org, for any further information.
Thank you.
I have a question. Yes. This is not related to your report.
All right, fellas, can you hang out for 1 minute, please?
Yeah, for sure.
I would be very curious to know, I know we signed up a lot of students when we did the iPads.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way for you to tell if there's any activity with those, if there's been an uptake in that, so
I
we
will-
can look forward
Yeah.
to possibly partnering again?
Okay, I will check with Jennifer on that, because I know that they said that was, when I did this, they said that was reported on, but I know that they are keeping accurate records of that kind of thing, and I think it's just one of those really great programs that allows us to partner with the school district and the kids. So I will find out if there are any updated numbers and have them sent to you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. I want to apologize to the board and everyone. It seems that our 2 projects that we heard of today didn't get on the agenda. So I'm just going to, in between on the library and CIT, I'm going to ask for a motion at this time from the board to approve the 2 projects that were just presented to us.
Second.
Discussion?
Everybody said.
Any discussion? Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now you can leave. Thank you. Letter C, CIT, Ms. Hess, Mr. Vanderberg, and Ms. Weiss.
I'll be taking it tonight. So the CIT is looking for occupational advisory committee members needed to provide recommendations for the curriculum, equipment needs, instructional materials, safety requirements, program evaluation, and industry standards. They're looking for in the programs of automotive collision, technology, building and property maintenance, building construction technology, CAD/engineering, computer systems networking, cosmetology, culinary arts, early childhood education, electrical construction, electronics, health-related technology, HVAC, machine tool technology, marketing and retail services, masonry, protective services, and welding technology. And so there's 2 different parts to it. One of them is the advisory where you vote, and the other is if you've been out of the industry for more than 2 years, basically you would just be as an advisory. You couldn't vote on the curriculum and different things like that. But they are looking for people, so if anyone's interested, the flyer is up on the CIT website.
Thank you. Community College, Mr. Fainall.
Quite a few things tonight. The first is on our agenda, we have an affiliation agreement for the purpose of the athletic training. So our students from the college get a chance to work with people from the school district and everything in the area of observing and everything, the athletic training experience, helping them to grow and understand better what the program's about and what what's expected of them. Going along with that, something else that is now starting, and it's in Bethlehem, and then moving, there's been discussions here and everything, is something called College Connections. One of the things that's been noted over the last few years has been, I don't want to call it a total disconnect, but really having students prepared for college experience, not just at Northampton, but at any school, any of the colleges and everything. The colleges and universities have been talking about how you prepare and everything, and have them better prepared for college. So right now there's a pilot program going on and starting in Bethlehem. There's, I know, some discussions going on with Easton, looking to expand that and do more of a transition and better prepare students. It has nothing to do with where they go to college in the future, but more about how are they being prepared and everything for college. So we're going to start to see some of those developments going on over the next few months, and hopefully by the end of this school year, we'll hear about the successes out of Bethlehem and everything, and then see where we are here in Easton, ready to move forward with that. Other than that, the only other item, every year, we continue to review programs out there to determine if they should be continued or if they should be discontinued. And this past month, we were reviewing an electronics program and the media production program. There's so much more going on with media today and all the different ways of communicating and everything that it becomes very important, and it keeps drawing more and more students into it. Don't get me wrong, at the same time, those are some expensive programs as well. But in both cases, by the independent people that came in to evaluate, the recommendations were to continue the program, that there's value there, and that there is the need for those types of things. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Fainall. Letter E, the Foundation for Eastern Schools, Mr. Buscemi.
The foundation is going to resume our meetings tomorrow night, and we're going to start planning for the next gala, silent auction, and activities at that meeting. So I'll have more of a report on October.
Thank you. Letter F, Charles Schumann Science and Technology Initiative, Ms. Hess.
Actually, we just discussed we'll be doing what dates of when we're going to do in October and November.
Thank you. G, Legislative, Mr. Fainall.
You've been following Harrisburg. Still no way of funding the current budget that they proposed.
It's easy to follow when there's no movie.
That's exactly right. So nothing to report on that.
Thank you. Mr. Geiger, can you introduce our High School Student Council Executive Board President?
This evening, Emily Midsack, who was on the minutes, is actually playing a soccer game against Parkland. So we do have some students here to represent them. So Valeria Aguilar is here to represent Student Council, and we also have Brielle Guignon, who's going to be here for the senior class.
As of right now, we have two big events going on at the high school, and one of them is Friday, October 6th, which is our home football game against Nazareth. And the theme for that game will be David Hurd Night. This game will be David Hurd Night in honor of David Hurd, who had died February 10, 2011, and would have been graduating with our class this year. T-shirts are being made, and they will be sold the week before the game, and they will be sold for $10 at both the high school and the middle school. And another event that we have is our annual homecoming, which will be held this year, November 4th, from 7 to 10 p.m. in our cafeteria.
Thank you.
I'm Brielle Guignon. I'm the treasurer from the class of 2018, and I'm here to ask permission to host the bonfire this year to keep tradition going.
We're going to go in another direction. I'm going to ask Mr. Chando, what do you think about our bonfire?
It's a great activity.
Great activity. There you have it. Thank you. Can somebody make sure Mr. Mahersek gets a ticket for Mr. Chando next to me at the Thanksgiving game?
Frank, they probably don't understand the humor behind that, so...
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Mr. Chando, would you like to introduce your former self?
I'm a little afraid.
Before you got lucky and came over here to Easton, Would you like to share with our students?
Well, actually, Frank, I've been a resident in Easton School District for 38 years.
Oh, no, absolutely.
So, I mean, it's not like I don't know anything about the Easton
He
School
wore red under his maroon.
My children were fortunate enough to go through the district and receive great education. What Frank's alluding to, I spent 42 years of my professional career in Phillipsburg. All the way from a teacher, a coach, athletic director, assistant principal, assistant superintendent, you name it. I guess they couldn't find a position that they wanted to make sure to do. But so that's what Frank's referring to. But I really feel fortunate to be able to be associated with two great school districts. Not many people can say that.
Agreed. Thank you. All right, PTA. I don't see Miss Alexander. EAEA.
Good evening. I'm Kevin Neely, the president of the Eastern Area Education Association. I just want to let you know we had a great start to the school year. We had some teachers spending cumulatively hundreds of hours setting up their classes to make sure they're all ready to go. Paxinosa looks fantastic. I feel a lot of energy when I walk in that building. I think the students are eager to get started. They're really excited, and the staff is getting used to all the great technology that's in those classes. For myself, I was elected to the NEA and PSA Board of Directors in May, and it's an honor to serve in that capacity. I'm one of 8 teachers in the state that's on the NEA Board of Directors from Pennsylvania, and I get to bring that knowledge back here. One of the things that NEA is focusing on is ending institutional racism in our schools. I know it's a big challenge, but I think we can do it. It's incredibly difficult. So one of my personal goals is to try to do what I can in the school district by working on the equity committee. I had a meeting today, and we had a great discussion on the parent and teacher community advisory committee. And we're moving forward. One of the things that I think that the teachers can do a better job of, I think we all can do a better job of, is communicating with parents. Reaching out, making positive comments, because a lot of parents, all they hear from teachers is a negative. Sorry to tell you that your son or daughter did X, Y, or Z, instead of saying, wow, this is the great stuff that your kid has done, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they're doing. So I try to do that in my classroom, and I'm hoping that my colleagues will do the same. Speaking of this, I've been out among the community talking to other stakeholders, and had the opportunity to go to Shiloh Baptist Church, where I saw the young Mr. Vandenberg, who was a former student of mine, and we got to chat. And I went to the Boys and Girls Club, and I saw another former student, Evan Obey, who is working with Mr. Young there. And it's just fantastic to see that I have some great former students who are really actively engaged in making this community a better place for everybody. Aside from that, it's just been really positive working with the administration too. I think we've established a really good working relationship. So hopefully any little bumps in the road we can iron out before they become issues. And it's good to know that Neil's here too. I'm going to use him, if you don't mind. If you don't mind too, Neil. I'm sorry. That's complicated. But that's it. I'll see you next month.
Thank you.
Bus drivers. Anyone here? I don't see Helen. Letter L, EASD Diversity Alliance. Mr. Reinhardt.
Yes, well, the subcommittees are meeting regularly. We had a meeting on, help me with the date, September 8th, 5th, something like that. We had a very healthy group of individuals there, including high school students. We had a wonderful conversation. We focused on the work of the subcommittees, and we're going to regather on January 16th as a whole, and hopefully between then and now, these committees will work at offering up suggestions, ideas, and methods by which we can accomplish the goals that are outlined in the diversity plan. So,
thank you, Mr. Reinhardt.
yes.
We have the minutes of the executive sessions as reported. Can I have a motion to accept them? Oh, yes, I do. Can I have a motion to accept that?
So moved.
Second. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? I'm sorry, I want to go back to number 4. Is there anyone from the public who would like to be heard on agenda items only? Is there anyone from the public? All right, number 6, can I have approval of the minutes? Second. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Can I have a motion to accept number 7, A through K, number 8, A through I?
So moved.
Second. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 9, can I have a motion to accept letter A? Second. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Can I have a motion to accept number 10, letters A, B, C, and D, number 11, A and B?
So moved.
All discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations, the bonfire passed. Number 12, is there anyone from the public who would like to be heard on non-agenda items? Number 13, any other business from board members?
Mr. President, if I could just make an acknowledgement. Last Saturday evening, my wife and I had the privilege of attending the United Way of the Lehigh Valley Their Gala, which was celebrating their 100th anniversary of providing service to the communities in the greater Lehigh Valley. There were over 550 people that attended that gala, and during a reception which preceded their formal program, the Eastern Area High School Jazz Quartet performed for everyone. I can tell you that the quality of their performance was outstanding, and initially, no one knew who this quartet was associated with. And then just prior to the reception ending, they made an announcement that it was the Jazz Quartet from Eastern Area High School. I can tell you that they represented themselves, the high school and the district very, very well. And Mr. Geiger, if you get a chance, you could just pass on to the students and their instructor, that they were well received and their performance was outstanding. Thank you.
Any other business from board members? Seeing none, conclusions be the Mr. Geiger, can you come forward for a second, please? Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second? All those in favor?